What did I tell y'all? What did I tell y'all? Like, folks, excuse some of the background wind. I'm just driving with the window down. Of course, that's what the coach loves to do. You know, folks, listen. Y'all better start listening. Y'all better start listening to the coach, because I keep putting this stuff out here for y'all. I tell you guys what's going to happen, and I still have people argue with me after they 0-55 against the coach. So, guys, not only do I believe that Dana White is going to make this fight, he's going to make the fight. But now I'm a little bit more convinced, because, you see, when I tell y'all about Dana White, you know, Dana White will say something the first time, but you can't believe that. When Dana White says the first time that, oh, it's not going to happen, well, it will happen. He's just behind the scenes trying to figure out a way to make it happen. Dana White, they've been working really intensely. They've been working intensely on trying to get this fight done. And they're trying to come up with a way to satisfy Jon Jones. Now, I don't think that Jon Jones going to get, I guess, the real value what he wanted. And that value is a mystery. Because every time somebody throw out a number, hey, Jon, did you ask for $30 million? And Jon will be like, well, no, I didn't ask for that. I mean, who told you that? But, you know, guys, I got to believe, man, for a fight of this magnitude and for what Jon is asking for, I got to believe we might, okay, folks, we're going to have to start at $10 million. And that's not $10 million base pay, okay? Let's get that straight. We're talking about after everything's done, pay-per-views, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, okay? We're not talking about base pay. So they're going to have to come up with a way to restructure a deal or Jon's contract to get him the money that he wants or the money that he'll accept. Okay? Dana White, trust me, they're trying to get this deal done. Now, I bring this up because Dana White said, hey, you know, I'll work with Rizin, or he's thinking about it. He hadn't 100% said that he'll work with Rizin. But I told y'all this maybe a year and a half ago. I said that one day Dana White, he's going to have to concede and he's going to have to work with other promotions. He's going to have to do it. Because some of the mega fights in MMA, unfortunately, Dana White don't have all those fighters. He's got like maybe 90% of all the fighters under his umbrella where he can make mega fights. But then there are those super mega fights that Dana White would love to make that he can't really make. And some of these guys are in other organizations. You got guys in the one championships. And some of those fighters, man, I would love to see fight some of the UFC fighters. There are a couple of guys in Bellator. See, now this whole thing with, you know, Dana White not working with Bellator, well, if he's working with Rizin, I mean, you know, hey, I can think of a million fights in Bellator that we can see if Dana White decides to work with other promotions. I mean, come on, y'all. Even in the WMMA universe, I got so many fights. Man, I got Kerry Melendez versus JoJo Calderwood. I got Denise Killhost versus Menem Feria. Man, it's so many fights that can be made. Oh, there go my boy Ticket TV. I got his notifications. There's so many fights, man, that can be made. So many. And so I begged, guys, if this man is even having thoughts of working with other promotions, guys, Dana White is behind the scenes. They're trying to make this fight. Okay? You know, it's just some fights, the Cyborg Nunes 2, folks, I don't think we're going to get that one. I just don't believe we're getting that one. Scott Coker, he's going to have to come to the table, and Scott going to have to come with something that Dana White can't say no to. Something got to take place on Scott Coker's end. Because on Dana's end, Dana just like, nah, it's not going to happen. So Scott Coker got to do something, okay? Scott got to do something to try to see if this fight can be done, okay, with Cyborg Nunes. Dana not budging on that one. Guys, that's just how he ain't budging. We're not going to see it. But now some of these other fights that we can be privy to, if Dana can work with other promotions, man, this is a good idea. I would love for him to do that. But the fight that fight fans want to see, guys, this fight is going to get done. Jon Jones and Francis Ngannou, have you noticed, man, they've been going back and forth with each other? But they've said they go back and forth, and then they get a dead period. Jon Jones been quiet for a long time until he made that tweet. He tweeted Francis Ngannou and told him, hey, hey, be careful what you ask for. And Francis called him a coward. Francis Ngannou called him a coward. So, I mean, but then after that, it's nothing. These two been quiet. And then you go to Instagram and you start really looking at these guys. Man, them two, they are training. They're training like they're in a fight camp. And folks, you know, last time I saw Jon Jones train, We didn't know that he was about to fight DC again because the fight was quiet. We didn't know anything about the fight, and the next thing you know, he announced he was fighting DC. I mean, folks, that's crazy. That's just crazy. But Ngannou been training like crazy. John Jones, they both been training, man. Guys, I believe that this fight or the deal is close to being done. Dana White has not moved on, guys. How many times have y'all heard him say he ain't gonna do something, and next thing you know, he does it? Folks, think about it. It's too much money on the table, man. It's too much damn money on that table for Dana White to just be like, nope, we can't make this fight. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. I don't know. I think the deal probably could be done sometime this summer. I don't know. But man, they got to. I don't care what Chael Sonnen say. I don't care what Chael Sonnen, man, this is a big fight. I don't care what anybody say. This fight is huge. Huge. I mean, guys, we're talking about the biggest fight that could ever happen in MMA. Guys, we're talking about the biggest fight. Hands down. And you mean to say people ain't finna tune in? Yeah, they're gonna tune in. Yeah, this fight finna make a lot of money. And yes, John Jones and Francis Ngannou deserve their piece of the pie. I don't understand, man. Whenever it come, to Conor McGregor, people like, man, yeah, Conor's worth it, man. Conor can do this, Conor can do that. I get too, Conor can put the asses in the seats. I get that too. I get that Conor is a draw. I get that. I think John Jones, to me, I think he's a draw. I think John Jones is a draw. He's not more of a draw than Conor McGregor, but I think John Jones and Francis Ngannou together, they're going to bring in enough people. They're going to bring in enough people to make this fight very viable. I'm sorry. This is going to be the biggest fight ever. You got to pay the guys. You got to pay these guys. But see, it just seems like, man, whenever two brothers want their payday, whenever two brothers want a payday, man, it's almost like, man, promoters, they always have an excuse, man. They don't never have enough money. Or they can't do this because. Or we got all this overhead because. Nah, man. They don't say that. They find it from McGregor. They find it. Or they work out a deal to structure with him to where he'll be satisfied. They found it for Khabib. Khabib made a butt ton of money when he fought Conor McGregor. They paid Khabib. I think Khabib even got a base salary of $2.5 million. But that's not even counting all the other stuff, man. Then they said, look, man, I read in an article, man, that Khabib got his base pay of $2.5 million, right? Well, y'all remember when Dana White tried to hold it up and didn't want to pay him his money because he jumped off the cage or jumped into the crowd and jumped on Dylan Dennis. Boy, that was some old WWE shit, wasn't it? Like, it was crazy. But he jumped over there and they tried to hold up his money. But I heard and I read that Khabib Nurmagomedov made like in excess, man, over $20 million, man, when everything was done. Like pay-per-views and everything. Man, look, they said Khabib made so much money, it was crazy. So I think that they can do something like that for John Jones and Ngannou to make this fight a reality. I think they can do it. I think that this fight will exceed expectations when it comes to pay-per-views. That's my thoughts, okay? But Dana White need to go ahead and do it, man. He need to go ahead and make the fight. He need to stop playing around, okay? Let's get the deal done as quick as possible, man. Let's go on and book this fight. The fans want to see it. You know people going to support it. People going to pay for it. You know people paying for this, okay? The MMA world going to pay for this, okay? The casual fans are going to pay for it. And I even think that a lot more casual fans are going to be watching this because this is an MMA super fight. Guys, you can't get no better than this. You cannot. You cannot. This man, don't nobody want to see no Derrick Lewis. Don't nobody want to see no quarter pounder with cheese Derrick Lewis. Guys, we don't want to see that. I don't care nothing about no Derrick Lewis. Get Derrick Lewis all the way out of here. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. All right, y'all. I think we're going to get it.